Welcome. Get this thing situated here. One second. Alright, I got some things going on here. I think I fixed them. Nope. Wait. I think I fixed them. Nope. Wait. Think I fixed them. Alright, let's try that. Let's try that. Nope, I am getting some background. Hold on one second. Let's try that. Nope, I am getting some background. Hold on one second. Testing 1, 2. Let's try this again. Testing 1, 2. Let's try this again. All right, now I think I figured it out. Testing 1, 2. That was it. All right. Figured that out. All right, that's one down. Probably 60 to go. Okay. How you doing, everybody? This is Ricardo Wilkins, and this is Coffee with the Cowbell. And my intro isn't working. Oh boy. I've been off for a few days, and so you come back and everything is just does not work. But it's all good. It's all good. There we go. All right, I'll get there. All right, so Coffee with the Cowbell, your host Ricardo Wilkins, here with my decaf coffee. Since this is the evening, this is your decaf coffee. I don't want you up all night. Just here to geek out with you about teams. And so I am going to do my best to monitor chat, just in case you're out there and you have a question. You can put it in chat, and I'll try to respond if that works out. Oh man, there's just issues all over the place. Hold on one sec. All right, fixed that one. Fixed issue 2 of 17. All right, so I think we're good now. So anyway, if first time to this channel or first time viewing it on demand, you know, what is this? Why am I on at 9 p.m. Eastern? What is the coffee thing about? All that good stuff. So again, I do sessions just to help with collaboration on teams. I'm just a big teams geek, and if you give me half the chance, I will just talk about it, you know, until you tell me to stop, right? And so I like sharing tips and tricks. I really like the platform, and again, the teamwork cowbell concept is more so about collaboration in general. It's just these days my collaboration platform of choice is Microsoft Teams, but collaboration concepts in general is what I like to talk about. If you've ever been wondering what this whole cowbell thing is, if you go to my blog at www.teamworkcowbell.com, and if you are over 20 years old or something like that. If you've watched Saturday Night Live long enough, there is a clip, there's a skit about with Will Ferrell in it and the cowbell. So if it wasn't completely obvious, why I'm using cowbell, gotta have more cowbell is what the skit says. Gotta have more teams, gotta have more SharePoint. I have SharePointCowbell.com as well. That's where that's coming from. In case you didn't know or didn't, click through on my blog to find that out. Like I said, I usually don't have trouble explaining that for, I guess more seasoned folks like myself. But if you're younger, maybe you missed that skit. I don't know. So that's what that's about. And so between that, that just gives me a platform to geek out on teams, teamworkcowbell.com, as well as SharePoint used to be my jam. It still is my jam. But I used to, for many years, I was a SharePoint architect and full-blown SharePoint geek. And so that's where SharePoint Cowbell came from. And so then fast forward, this coffee with the cowbell is just about, again, an informal way to just sit back with a cup of coffee and just talk about teams with anybody who will listen to me. So that's what this is about. And so I try to just pick topics of interest that I think are interest to folks, and fire up a demo environment and just geek out on that. So if you're ever interested in me talking about something on either Coffee with the Cowbell, this decaf edition on the evenings, and I may try some different times out, this decaf edition in the evenings, which I think seems to be a good fit for West Coast folks. 6 o'clock for you right now. And then I sometimes do Coffee with the Cowbell Saturday mornings, 11 a.m. Eastern, I believe, which may be too early for West Coast folks. And then on Fridays, I have Cute for Teams. Cute being champions using teams effectively. Fridays, 11 a.m. Eastern. I'm very interested in any feedback on times for any of those sessions, especially during the week. It may or may not be easy to, hit a live session in the middle of the day. And I know live sessions can be useful to folks because it does allow you to come on and actually ask a question in the moment. I'm pretty good at, changing up on the fly. If I came with a topic, but you ask a question, I can talk and demo it pretty well. So I do like the value of the live sessions versus you just watching on demand. On demand is on youtube.com/teamworkcowbell. So again, any feedback you've got on this format, the times, hit me up, LinkedIn or or any of the 5 platforms that we're currently streaming to right now. Just hit me up and we'll make adjustments. All right. Let me make a switch here and let me do a little adjustment here. Let's see. We're going to adjust this on the fly. We'll just do it that way. That'll work. All right. Cool. All right. So so I see the comments. So thank you. So it sounds like some of you feel like there is a good mix of time and days, and I am going to try to get more consistent with them. But yeah, any feedback I'm definitely open to. So one thing that will spark several sessions from me that I'm really excited about is showing you collaboration scenarios with shared channels in Teams, and that right now I think is rolling out in preview. So I'm not usually into showing like pre-release stuff, I'd like to show things that you can actually do right now. And so until I see that hit my commercial tenant, I'm going to hold off on that. However, very excited about that. What is that? It is essentially, you can create a channel for a team. And today we have two types of channels that we can create: shared, standard channels and private channels. The main quick explanation here, the main difference being the standard channel, everybody in a team can see it, and the private channel, only the people you specify from the team can see it. That's what we have today. The third type of channel will be one in which you can, it's similar to a private channel in that you can specify certain people for this channel, but the cool killer part is you can bring in external guest type folks into this channel. Today, if I bring a guest in, I'm bringing them in and letting them see everything in the team. But we may collaborate in one particular channel, maybe a private channel, but in general, I'm letting you see all in order to collaborate with you. But the shared channels are going to me, give a very elegant way of bringing in folks without this full-blown sharing, and in a very seamless way, minimizing tenant switching if you've ever had to do that, being a part of two different orgs and teams. So again, this is just a little teaser, because I'll, when that does come out, I plan to talk about that extensively, because from a collaboration perspective, both it's cool both for those who want to collaborate externally, and I know sometimes you don't, right? Your org may not even allow it, but that's why I think it's cool, because it has a lot of implications for internal collaboration as well, where that external collaborator is someone from another team internally. So again, that's a long teaser commercial, but I'm just to say, once shared channels really starts to hit, that'll be all I talk about for a while. So be looking for that. So yeah, I keep looking to see when that's gonna hit. I think it's soon. But case in point, you can see here. Hopefully, you can see here. This team has guests, right? That's the current collaboration concept, is adding guests to a team. And of course, the other scenario really is in a meeting. You can certainly collaborate with external folks. There's no, I don't have to add you as a guest per se to bring you into a meeting. So it's a lot less friction from that perspective. So I think I may have talked in the past about all these different collaboration scenarios. If that's a nice topic for you, let me know. I mean, I can certainly do a lot of talking on that space too. What I find though is your typical person today, though, their team's experience, unless they're very mature in teams, the team's experience involves a lot of meetings. So people want to know more about meeting etiquette, meeting features, and then chat one-to-one in group chat. This area here. So to me, in that evolution of using teams, you go from starting with meetings, then you go to chatting, and then team collaboration files and apps, and so I feel like that's the progression. So I try to give a mix in these formats of some of that more advanced collaboration, but also the basics of meetings and things like that. Today, so that was a lot of little teasers about things to come. And then the other thing, and the thing I was going to talk a little bit about now, is that in using Teams, you use it as a desktop, desktop app, or in the browser, or on your mobile phone. And so I've shown those different scenarios. If you're on the browser, which I know many people are because of the convenience of it, for the most part, it does. I don't know if I gave a percentage to it, maybe, I don't know, 85% of what the desktop does, maybe more. So it does. It gets gets it done most cases. There are some things that the desktop does that aren't in the browser yet, and it also depends on if you're on Mac and PC and all that good stuff. Same with the phone. It's got a whole different UI, and it's gonna have you're gonna click different buttons to do different things, and it's going to be some things that the desktop does that the phone doesn't do. All that being said, if I focus on the desktop, the reason I thought about that recently is because we recently had I think it was a hybrid Windows event. I think that was last week. I want to say maybe Tuesday. I think it was Tuesday last week. The Windows 11 hybrid work event. They were talking about some upcoming features to Windows 11 that are going to help us, be productive in general, but probably more specifically in this new world of hybrid work. A lot of cool features coming out from that perspective. What that made me think about as I'm sitting here looking at this desktop version of Teams, it happens to be in a demo environment with Windows 10, as you can see. One of the telltale signs being the fact that I'm able to put this taskbar on the side here instead of the bottom. Depending on who you talk to, that's a big point of contention. I'm over it. I do like having my taskbar on the left. I am aware that it's staying on the bottom for now in Windows 11, and I'm fine. I've gotten over it. Anyway, but that's how you can tell that I'm on Windows 10. Where am I going with this? The thing is, we use our Microsoft Teams in Windows, and in many respects, there are some Windows Teams interactions that you may not be aware of. In other words, there are features in Windows 10 or 11 that are useful in your world of working with Teams. All right. Just as a little teaser, again, I'm not running Windows 11 here, but for instance, in Windows 11, the mute button is a universal mute button got added recently. That's obviously key for everybody that's doing meetings, trying to make it easier to visually see and to interact with coming on and off mute during a meeting. So that's a Windows 11 feature. So that's just one little peek at this whole Teams Windows interaction, right? So if you never kind of thought about that, what does Windows have to do with Teams? I mean, we are really trying to make that whole ecosystem work seamlessly, flawlessly. So there's probably a dozen things I could go down that path with. The one I'll speak to right now, though, that you may not have thought about is this idea of desktops. And where this came up, I was talking recently with colleagues, mentioning some of the things that I do with the 4 monitors that I have today. Of course, they made fun of me for having 4 monitors. They think 1 is enough. That's just ridiculous. Of course, you need 4. But this whole point is just that sometimes with your screen real estate, with all the windows you got going, including Teams, and it could be the Teams desktop as well as the meeting windows, maybe even some chat windows. As you know, you can come into your chat, right? And these chats are their own windows as well. So, imagine suddenly now I'm trying to do some work in a team area while having 2 chats going and a meeting, right? That's a very common scenario for all of us. I'm sure we probably got big monitors. This screen we're looking at here is pretty small. This is going to fill up quick. But in any case, no matter how big your screen is, you can still run out of space. I know that from experience. So desktops in Windows, and I think in Mac there's also a version of this. I don't know what it's called. I try not to touch Apple too much. It's it's Android and PC in this place, but desktops. If I click over here to the task view, this is showing me all the running tasks or windows that are going on. But you may not notice, unless you pay attention, this new desktop. I'm going to go ahead and make a desktop 2. I'm even going to name it. The common scenario one scenario that I see for this in this hybrid world, and let me see if I can make that a little bigger. I've made 2 desktops, and I have named one work and one personal. All right. So just to kind of keep this going, what is this desktop? So here I've got my work desktop. I hit the button. I go to my personal desktop. It feels like my apps have closed, but it's a new virtual desktop where I can now bring up other things, and Windows is keeping track, as you can kind of see here, of the 2 windows. One perfect scenario is, again, I want to maybe segment work stuff from personal stuff, and that could be as simple as my work email on one and my personal email on another, right? I'm not suggesting you can't use your work machines and throw a bunch of personal apps and stuff on there, but it could be as simple as work versus personal email being up, work versus personal calendars, and things like that, just browser things. And it also could be as useful as I have certain window configurations that I like. For instance, I might do a third desktop for reports, right? Where I like to see 3 certain reports, and I'm used to having them in a certain arrangement, all those kind of things. This now takes your 1 monitor and potentially makes it 3 if you're okay with doing these kind of shifts. And there is a shortcut key, so you can't see me typing it, but you can see I'm switching across my my desktops with Control, Windows key, and the left and right keys. All right. So once you start getting good at the shortcuts, now I can switch back and forth pretty easy. So again, use your imagination, since I haven't really set anything up here, that this is my work email and work calendars, or personal here, and switching back to work, and vice versa, or switching to my reports, or in my case, I have a demos desktop that always has my demos ready to go, things like that. And from a team's perspective, one best practice I would recommend, if I've excited you already about this concept of desktops, I didn't know that was there, Ricardo, thank you for this. One thing I recommend, as I go here, if I write, let's see, there we go. Teams, I go to this view here, click on something like Teams, and I say show this window on all desktops. Or even show window, I don't know, I think I do show windows from this app on all desktops as well, but yeah, I do show windows from this app. What does that mean? That means now, if I kind of get rid of some things here, as I shift through my desktops with my little shortcut, see, I'm on desktop 2, desktop 3, desktop 2, desktop 1. Teams stays on all of them. Why do I do that? It's because when I have a Teams meeting going, I can have that meeting going and be uninterrupted. Let me just get one going. Stop talking in the theoretical. Fire this meeting up. Meet now. Start the meeting. Blah 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 blah. Join it. Okay, I got a meeting going here. I'll minimize that. Close that. So we're all used to this experience. I've got my meeting going, probably have more space on your screen than mine. But again, if I am switching through desktops, I want that window to stay Usually I'm going to put it somewhere, up in the corner or something. But again, I can switch through these desktops and keep Teams going, keep my meeting going uninterrupted. So to me, desktops are already powerful by the fact that I've got these virtual desktops. I can set up these different scenarios and windows. But I like that feature of saying make Teams appear on all of them, no matter what I switch to, so I can have uninterrupted meetings. Because what you don't want is your meetings to be on desktop 1. You go to desktop 2 to look at personal email or something, and the meeting won't end, but you won't see it on the screen, right? It's on another desktop. So that's like my pro tip from that perspective. Related to desktops and related to a Windows feature that I think is super useful. I do like this, this is, I don't know about recent, but, there was a time when I couldn't rename these. I love being able to rename these now. I actually wish there was a way for me to either with a voice or some other kind of shortcut go right to them. I happen to use Stream Deck, which does let me do some switches based on button presses, all that good stuff. But I do like that I can name them. So in my day-to-day, I actually use 4: work, personal, actually work 1, work 2, just a secondary work one, and then a personal, and then one dedicated to VMs and demos and things like that. But you can make a bunch of these, switch with them with the shortcut. And again, if you're low on real estate, wishing you could have more real estate, that is a way to kind of almost simulate having a bunch of monitors. Windows 11 makes it a little nicer because you can do custom backgrounds for the different desktops. I don't think you can do that in Windows 10. Which helps with the shift, right? I can maybe I've got a nice corporate-y looking desktop for my work or background for my work desktop, and then a very personal, like Xbox, Skyrim, something or other in my personal one, right? So those desktops, custom desktop backgrounds, are pretty useful. I'm just kind of looking at the chat there. Glad the tips were helpful. Yep. So with that said, I think I will try to incorporate more. That Windows event from last week just kind of got the creative juices flowing, and so where I can, I'll incorporate more. I'll see even about showing off some Windows 11 stuff. I do have a VM running Windows 11 that I can show some things. But when it comes to meetings and muting and desktops for spacing, Windows can be useful. If you know anything about Windows 11, you'll know the other integration point there is the dedicated Windows app or button in the taskbar. That button today is specific to the consumer or personal version of Teams. So the work version of Teams that maybe most of us are using, in our jobs and whatnot, logging in with our work accounts, that is not what that Teams button is today. But for those that would use Teams, like you may use Skype or something for personal, family, chatting and whatnot, that's super cool that it's right there. You're one click away, or not one. You're a couple clicks away from firing up a meeting with someone using your personal account, and I think that's the goal of that one. So already I've kind of just even mentioned 3 Windows features that have Teams and or collaboration and or meetings in mind that maybe you didn't realize were there, or that you could incorporate into your hybrid collaborative work. And so for future sessions, I'll look at trying to continue to do those kind of tips and tricks to help as well. My mind's already going about some other ones, even as we speak. So good stuff there. kill that meeting, and good. So I hope that was helpful. Again, coffee with the cowbell. I usually just go about 30 minutes. If you guys start getting active in the comments and asking questions, I'll kick it with you all night if if you really want. But with that said, I'll try to do these more regularly. Try to keep the evening one weekly. Again, if you hit this up on demand or you really do think that the 9 p.m. time is good, the more of you that hit me up and let me know, the more that will make sure I keep this live. I'm just trying to find the right times that work for folks. So, hope that was helpful. And this is Coffee with the Cowbell Decaf Edition. Next time I'll see you is either the Friday 11 a.m., aka.ms/cute4teams is how you get there, or Saturday, aka.ms/coffee4teams. So either one of those, or on demand at youtube.com/teamworkcowbell. So with that, glad I could help. This has been Coffee with the Cowbell.